Hi everybody, welcome to Tavish Academy. Today we are presenting a new chapter, Statistical Description of Data for CA Foundation. Introduction. Now, what is statistics? Statistics refers to the collection, organization, distribution and interpretation of data or a set of observation. It is useful in understanding what a data reveals about a particular phenomenon. Trends can be studied and results can be drawn from data interpretation. Hence, statistics is very useful tool for data study. For example, a businessman looks forward to expanding his growth in the business world by taking into account the data and the feedback. Now, what are the sources of collecting a data? There are two sources, that is primary data and secondary data. So, what is primary data? Primary data is the data collected for the first time through personal experiences or evidences, particularly for research. It is also described as raw data or first-hand information. The mode of assembling information is costly as the analysis is done by an agency or an external organization and need human resources and investment. The investigator supervises and controls the data collection process directly. Mostly the data is collected through observation, physical testing, mailed questionnaires, surveys, personal interviews, telephonic interviews, case studies and focus group, etc. What is secondary data? Secondary data are second-hand data that is already collected and recorded by some researcher for their purpose and not for the current research problem. It is accessible in the form of data collected from different sources such as the government publications, censuses, internal records of the organization, books, journal articles, websites and reports. This method of gathering data is affordable, readily available, saves cost and time. However, the one disadvantage is that the information assembled is for some or other purpose and may not meet the present research purpose or may not be accurate. Now, which are the sources of secondary data? First, published sources, second, unpublished sources. So, published sources. Secondary data is usually gathered from published sources. A few major sources are given below. Published articles of local bodies and central and state governments, statistical synopsis, census records, and other reports. Official statements and publication of foreign governments, publication and reports of chambers of commerce, financial institutions and trade associations, magazines, journals and periodicals, publications of government organizations like the Central Statistical Organization and National Sample Survey Organization, reports presented by the research scholars, bureaus and economists. Second, unpublished sources. Statistical data can be obtained from several unpublished references. Some of the major unpublished sources from which secondary data can be gathered are the research works conducted by teachers, professors, and professionals, the records that are maintained by private and business enterprises, statistics maintained by different departments and agencies of the central and state government undertakings and corporations, etc. So here is the basic difference between primary data and secondary data. Now, presentation of data. Presentation of data is of utter importance nowadays. Presentation of data refers to an exhibition or putting up of data in an attractive and useful manner such that it can be easily interpreted. The main forms of presentation are textual presentation, data tables, and diagrammatic presentation. Textual presentation. The discussion about the presentation of data starts off with its most raw form, which is the textual presentation. In such form of presentation, data is simply mentioned in mere text, that is, generally in a paragraph. This is commonly used when the data is not very large. This kind of presentation is useful when we are looking to supplement qualitative statements with some data. For this purpose, the data should not be voluminously represented in tables or diagrams. It just has to be a statement that serves as a fitting evidence to our qualitative evidence and helps the reader to get an idea of the scale of a phenomenon. Now, data tables or tabular presentation. A table facilitates representation of even large amount of data in a very attractive, easy to read and organized manner. The data is organized in rows and columns. This is one of the most widely used forms of presentation of data since data tables are easy to construct and read. So here are the components of data tables. Table number. Each table should have a specific table number for ease of access and locating. The number can be readily mentioned anywhere, which serves as a reference and leads us directly to the data mentioned in that particular table. Title. A table must contain a title that clearly tells the readers about the data it contains, time period of study, place of study, and the nature of classification of data. Head notes. A head note further aids in the purpose of a title and displays more information about the table. Generally, head notes present the units of data in brackets at the end of a table title. Stubs. These are titles of the rows in a table. A stub displays information about the data contained in a particular row. Caption. A caption is the title of a column in the data table. In fact, it is a counterpart of a stub and indicates the information contained in a column. Body or field. The body of a table is the content of a table in its entirety. Each item in the body is known as a cell. Footnotes. Footnotes are rarely used. In fact, they supplement the title of a table if required. Source. When using data obtained from a secondary source, the source has to be mentioned below the footnote. Now, the advantages of tabular presentation. Now, the advantages are ease of representation. A large amount of data can be easily confined in a data table. Ease of analysis. Data tables are frequently used for statistical analysis like calculation of central tendency, dispersion, etc. Helps in comparison. In a data table, the rows and columns which are required to be compared can be placed next to each other. To point out, this facilitates comparison as it becomes easy to compare each value. Economical. Construction of data table is fairly easy and presents the data in a manner which is really easy on the eyes of the reader. Moreover, it saves time as well as space. Now, classification of data and tabular presentation. The data is classified as qualitative classification, quantitative classification, temporal classification, and spatial classification. Diagrammatic representation. First, bar diagram. This is one of the simplest techniques to do the comparison for a given set of data. A bar graph is a graphical representation of the data in the form of rectangular bars or columns of equal width. It is the simplest one and easily understandable among the graph by a group of people. Types of bar diagram. A bar graph can be vertical or horizontal depending upon the choice of the axis as the base. The horizontal bar diagram is used for qualitative data. The vertical bar diagram is used for the quantitative data or time series data. Properties of a bar diagram. Each bar or column in a bar graph is of equal width. All bars have a common base. The height of the bar corresponds to the value of the data. The distance between each bar is the same. Second, histogram. We can use another way of diagrammatical representation of data if we are working with a continuous data set or a grouped data set. We can use a histogram for the representation of data. A histogram is similar to a bar graph except for the fact that there is no gap between the rectangular bars. The rectangular bars show the area proportional to the frequency of a variable, and the width of the bars represents the class width or the class interval. Frequency means the number of times a variable is occurring or is present. It is an area graph. The heights of the rectangles are proportional to the corresponding frequencies of similar classes. Now, properties of histogram. Each bar or column in a bar graph is of equal width and corresponds to the equal class interval. If the classes are of unequal width, then the height of the bars will be proportional to the ratio of the frequencies to the width of the classes. All bars have a common base. The height of the bar corresponds to the frequency of the data. Suppose we have a dataset showing the marks obtained out of 100 by a group of 35 students in statistics. We can Find the number of students in the various mark category with the help of the histogram. Now, line graph. A line graph is a type of a chart or graph which shows information when a series of data is joined by a line. It shows the changes in the data over a period of time. In a simple line graph, we plot each based on the value of x and y. Here, the x-axis denotes the various time points and the y-axis denotes the observation based on the time. Now, properties of a line graph. It consists of a vertical and horizontal scales. These scales may or may not be uniform. Data points corresponds to the change over period of time. The line joining each data point shows the trend of change.